Hi guys, welcome back. The bottom half is all complete from what you can see. I haven't started anything because today was the day I uploaded, so it's Saturday today. So look, I've had an idea. I've been wondering about how to get the weight down on the rest of the items that I've got to do. Polyurethane spray foam, as much as it is a good idea and it does work really well, it's expensive. Those cans are between £5 and £8 each, and I went through a lot. I think I bought a box of 12. That's not including the floor, this is just for the sides, and then I had to get another 8 more. The 12 came off the internet, so they weren't expensive. I think they were 20 quid for 12. But the ones I had to get from the shops were about £5 each, so I've got them for me. So it got expensive. Not only that, you had to put battens in as well to stop the walls from bulging. Plus I had to drill a series of holes. So I'm sitting there and I've been thinking about it, right? There's a guy on the internet, and I didn't watch his channel, genuinely I didn't watch it, but it came up as a recommendation, and he's building a camper demountable like me, and he's using polyurethane boards and nothing else from what I can work out. Now I haven't seen what he's done, but I was sitting there thinking about it and I thought, it's just something buzzing through my head tonight. How do I make the walls really light but strong at the same time? I'm going to glass over if the bed liner takes to it, so I'm going to do an experiment with the bed liner soon as well. I wanted to go gunmetal grey, but I've got a can of what's left of some black, so I think we might end up doing this thing black and doing all the windows and lockers and the doors grey instead to break up the accents. But anyway, cut a long story short, if the bed liner takes to it and it hides most of the fiberglass strands that you can see, because I'm not going to overly sand this, if I'm honest, I don't want to lose the thickness nor the strength. And I was thinking to myself, well, as I said in the last video, we could put hardboard on the outside, polyurethane the inside again, but no. So what I'm going to try instead, if I can afford it, and it could actually be cheaper in the long run anyway, piece of plywood on the inside, a frame on the outside, so frame up like I normally would. There's no windows going in those panels anyway because they're too low. Maybe one batten to hold, so where the hinges go for the roof that lifts up, maybe put a couple of battens in as well. But this time buy some polyurethane boards, cut them down so they fit the frame really tightly, and then fiberglass over the top. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, light as a feather, strong, and then that gives me 4 walls, although one of the walls has got to have a window in, so I can see out through the cab. But other than that, I cannot physically see any reason why that wouldn't work. So the videos, because this is getting expensive, and as you know, money is an issue because I screwed up on my catalogue. The monthly payments have gone so high now that that's left me with nothing. I don't want to get in debt. So, you know, if I can't afford to build, I can't afford to build. So things will have to get put down. But in the meanwhile, that's one of the things that's going on in my head regarding what I can do next. So,
right, welcome back. Next day. It is Monday. I have now sanded this all back. All the edges are done. It's not the neatest looking thing in the world, but once the bed liner, I'm hoping once the bed liner goes on, it's going to hide an awful amount of that roughness, but give me the strength of a fiberglass hull on a camper body. So this should last years, to be honest. Even if the wood rots away, we've still got a template of fiberglass on the outside to touch up, so we can always rebuild, you know, if it ever came to that. But hopefully it won't, and not in my lifetime anyway. So yeah, everything is sanded. I ain't done that bottom edge all the way around yet because, well, it's upside down or turned over, so when I start the walls, it will be facing the right way up. I was avoiding cutting those damn posts, but I don't think it can be avoided, so I'm going to have to very carefully slice them off and make good use of them. I really didn't want to do that because I needed to pull the wood straight, but the problem is the idea that I have to build the walls with means they have to be removed. Possibly. Bit of a nuisance, that. Say what? A bit of a nuisance. Anyway, I'm relatively happy with that. Right. I'm back. I just filled the door. I've now sanded it back, and that's what we're left with. Don't get me wrong, there's still more, but I think this will do. Oh man, they're just dropping off. They're not even ready to pick yet. They ain't until October. I ain't got hardly any left. Losing them and all. Anyway, I think we'll hit that with filler primer, and we'll see what we've got left after. How many coats I can get on that, I don't know. The more the better. And then that one can go in there out of the way, and we'll just forget about that for the time being. And then that one will get the bed liner. As I said, I've already spoken to the paint shop. I know what we're getting. It's going to be a kind of a very, very dark graphite grey. Really dark, but not dark enough where black can't highlight itself when you add the black, if you see what I mean. The checker plate would be really cool if we could sandblast that back. Yeah, sandblast that back and black it, and then add that as part of the trim. This might look really good, or it might look really rubbish. I just don't know. Tell you what, this primer shows a lot of sins. I'm going to be genuine with you. I haven't got a clue if this is going to work, because I'm looking at this thinking to myself, ooh, a lot of gaps. I mean, that for example should have been sanded out. Never mind. I've got another one up top here somewhere I found earlier. There. No. No, I can't find it. I guess it hides some sins as well. I had it on about 15 psi to blow that out, so I needed to keep the fumes down to a minimum. That seems to have worked. The filler primer was meant to, well, do exactly what it says, but I'd probably need about 20 coats, and I ain't giving it 20 coats. Fiberglass tends to drink the paint as well, so that really did do that. I'm not going to sand it. This is just an experiment. I mean, if it don't work, I'll put the paint on anyway, and if it don't work, I'll just rub the paint down. The paint is so thick that on its own will probably act as a filler primer for the next coat, but we'll see where we end up. I need to know if this is going to work before I start the next stage, you see, because the next stage is the walls, and if this isn't going to work, then I'll have to do that out of aluminium instead. So I will have to buy in some sheets, because there is no point doing it this way if it's just going to look an absolute arse. I mean, I could get away with putting some aluminium sheets over the top of all of this if it really came down to it, but I'm not going to. If I do, it'll only be a few surfaces like that one, these two, and that one. I probably wouldn't do any of the others. So, right, there you go. that's actually dry, and it's dry enough to put the pre-coat on, top coat. Comes a lion. Yes. Right, that's about all I can show you at the moment. Well, the colour's good. Pleased enough with the colour. That is the kind of colour I was, shade is where I was going with it, but the paint itself was too damn runny, so it hardly did anything that I needed it to do. And the idea was to hide as much of that fiberglass up as possible. Now you'll see on the door I did do a bit of pre-filling and then put the filler primer over the top. Now if I was to cover that now with the black, it would cover it perfectly. So what I'm going to do, and I'm reluctant to do this but I've got no choice, I'm going to have to get another can with that colour and go over that part, the two rear parts, obviously this side as well, and that bit there, and then whatever is left over, touch in where it didn't quite go so well and where it matters the most. So it don't go far, this paint, and my Schultz gun is shagged. I need to replace it. I did try and unblock it and clean it, but it's not shooting it out as well as it could. So no, I'm not overly happy with this, because I was half convinced it would hide a lot of what you can see, but if you look closely, it's just an orange peel texture and nothing more. You know, you look on the smoother areas and that's all it is. It's not done what I wanted it to do. Yeah, but we definitely need to go over a lot of these areas, because you can see the pinprick holes from the resin, and it's left it like not very good, like there and there. It's just not, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Now if I put the second, wife just bunged me 12 quid and I was able to get some top colour of another can I've got in the house, and this is where I'm at. There's a flat spot there, but yeah, it's all good. Got a builder in the house, he's looking at me as if to say, what the hell is he doing with the camera? So you can barely see the fibres now. Objective achieved. Right, so what we've got left to do is that door in black and that locker. But I want to cut some checker plate out first. Pretty much cut that out, 4 pieces, and cut them to shape. So once the sides have been done, I'll do the checker plate and then I'll hit the black with that. I'm going to do that in bedliner. I've made my mind up on that, and that one. So guys and girls, this is officially phase 1 complete. We have built the base frame, we have waterproofed it, and we have given it its colour as an experiment to see if that actually does hide a large percentage of the fiberglass grain that hasn't been sanded. I think that objective is now complete. So that means we've now got to fly into phase 2. Phase 2, we move this other end up down the bottom of the garden, specifically down here. So we're going to have a little clear up round here. I just need somewhere to store it, you see. So that's going to lay across here. We're going to move that over there. I won't use it that often anyway, to be honest. And we'll turn it over. We'll cut those pieces of oak that makes the door frame up. We'll remove those and use them on the next bit. We'll make the sides up. We've got 5 of them to do. Oh, excuse me. We've got 5 of them to do in total, and we'll then clean off that edge all the way around. We'll put in 3 pop nuts that side, 3 there, 3 there, 2 each side over there. Then we'll cut 2 pieces of steel here and there. And then we'll start buying in the plywood, the polyurethane board. I've had a brilliant idea for that. Now that we know this idea works, I'm feeling quite confident now. And we'll start the sides, building them up one side at a time. And they will also be painted as well, so we will get some more of this, and I'm going to try and get those a bit smoother. I'm going to do what I did to the door, so I'll put a skimmer filler over. So this job's going to take just a tiny bit longer because cash ain't got any. I've got to buy another can of filler because my existing filler is knackered and it's old. Also, we've got to get some more paint, so we're going to need a fair bit of that, another couple of cans of that. I reckon it'll be 1 can thinned to make sure I cover everything, and then a second can to go over it again, put a texture in. Once we've got that, we'll bolt them down. We're not going to glue or do everything up tight. We'll grease the screws so they can be removed again, and we'll bolt them down. And then the last stage, which is the most expensive stage and the most complicated one, is we've got to build a roof that can fold and lower, and then we can start building it. And here's the other problem. I have looked at some of those vehicles, and they're a bit boring inside because they're very open spaced, no cupboards hardly, because everything has to fold. So what I'm going to try and do is I'll either make cupboards that lay flat, in other words, on the inside of these I'll put some clips where the cupboards can slot in and stay stable during transport, or I'll put them on sliders so when the roof goes up they can then be slid up and then locked in place. Other than that, I don't have any other ideas. I had a foldaway caravan once, and that just had lift-up lockers. You know, like the toilet had a door that lifted up. So even the bulkhead that I want to do for the bed space will probably be a swing-out job and lock in a position. So I've got lots of ideas. I want to try and keep the weight down as much as I can. So watch this space. Next is the walls. So with that, thanks for the likes and shares, and I'll see you soon.